Hello, y'all peoples. It's time for another one. Actually, it's been time for about 6 or 7 days now, but more than ever, I got one of those new problems where you got so many great things to do that almost anything you do is not going to be a bad choice. But I just got to get to this one. Well, I know I don't believe in the God word, but anyway, I'm going to get to this one right now because this has been simmering for 6 days now. Oh, my God, it's so good. It's so good. Let me tell you, I was in my coffee shop with my friend, and I just happened to notice this lady, the lady, the cash register lady, and she wasn't looking so happy. And well, I know everybody doesn't just put their happiness in their face automatically, so she might be one of those, but just in case, it might be one of those people who actually show a little bit what's on their feeling. She wasn't feeling happy. I'm pretty sure about that. And then I had the insight of the century. She probably doesn't know that she needs to get permission to be happy. To go to the person in charge of getting permission to be happy. And that person, probably a good chance to say, yeah, I give you permission to be happy. Cause a lot of us been taught we got to do this, got to do that, it's hard, and you believe all that shit. Especially on top of that, it's sort of implied, you don't have permission to be happy. You can't just rearrange things to be happy because you don't got permission, right? So you just gotta go to the person and ask for permission, and they might just give it to you. And then, just in case you want to be happy, you don't have to be happy, but in case, maybe that's all there is to it. So I began to think about it. Well, actually, she seemed sort of busy, so I said, well, I'm going to probably see her another time. But I began to think about this. Wow. And but who is that person? Because I don't know who that person is. I'm already happy, so I don't need to go looking for him or her or them or whoever they are. But gotta be, and that's they probably have. If there's just one person in the world, I got many people asking all. So I can think, how can we find who that person is? That one person. But as I thought about it a little bit deeper, I said, this is a very important decision. Permission to be happy. Can't just leave that to one person. Got to have a committee, right? Committee. Maybe even like 9 people, like the Supreme Court justices, So if 4 people say, no, we don't give you permission, but 5 do, hey, go get it. Right? Well, that must be it. But then the question is, still back to the same problem. Who's the committee, right? Thinking deeper. Because, this is the first time I've been thinking about this type of problem. It takes me a while to get to the bottom of things, But as I thought deeper, I said, oh my God, I think I got it. It's a different committee for everybody. Different committee, customized for them. And the committee is very obvious who they are. Because pretty much all of us have those, those important peoples around us, parents or children or teachers or ministers or friends or husbands or wives, They're the people, obviously, the people in charge, or like as a committee, or whether, assuming majority rules, that they're there to say whether or not can be happy, right? And you think about it further, actually you already gave them a lot of power, you know? Because if any of those people praise you, it feels good, right? You don't get to just feel good for any old reason. You got to wait around for the praise, right? Or if some of those people blame you, oh God, especially if they're fellow church members, then it's time to feel bad, right? So it's obvious you already somehow, they got permission, to, and they're even using it to decide. They want you to feel maybe bad because perhaps they want you to do something or whatever, or they want to maybe encourage you to do something again, like you behaved, then they praise you, yeah. So, hey, this becomes more and more obvious. They're the ones in charge, But then I saw a new problem. Why the fuck would they want to give you permission to be happy? Give up all that power they got? God, what would they do without the power to, get you to do this or that, or be a, what they call a good person or bad? Don't be a bad person, do, whatever they happen to believe, and in your particular neck of the woods of the authorities on what's good and bad, I mean, hey, we expect people around us. I mean, parents even teach their children about that really on and introduce them to this condition called serositis, or, condition of being serious, that's the beginning of it, yeah. And if they give you permission, I mean, it's even worse than that. Imagine they give you permission and you're happy. And they're not. How unfair is that? God, people believe in equal suffering, That's obviously unfair, right? They're feeling probably bad enough already. They're just struggling too, because they got their own committees themselves. By the way, I think you may be one of their committee members. If they turn it around here, but yeah, maybe you wouldn't give them permission, right? I don't know. Anyway, but I thought it solved the problem, but I looked deeper and deeper. Why the fuck would those people give you permission, But there still might be a chance. You want to, so something as important as being happy in life, if there's even a little 1% of a chance, why not go for it, right? They might be stupid and say yes, So this is what you do. Pretty simple. You just, I don't know if you can get them all together, maybe just a quorum, a certain percentage of your important people in your life to get together, say, hey guys, I think it might be time I want to try out happiness, And I already thought about this a lot, because if I was in your shoes, which I probably am, if you decide to do what I'm doing now and you ask for permission, I'm not sure I'd give you permission myself, because I've got to keep you in line too, But anyway, let me get to the point. Just imagine you're speaking to these people and explaining everything. So, hey, look, I already know you've got permission to decide whether I feel good or bad, whether you blame me or praise me or accept me or include me or don't exclude me from the group, whatever you do, some subtle hints, you already got me pretty much in control, or whatever. I know I might be rebellious sometimes, but so I know you got the power, and I know it would be just, if there's any chance I could give it a try to be happy, just, and I understand. I understand if you say no, but could you just say, I mean, we can go around and vote if you want to. I don't know whether we want to agree on the majority rules here or whatever. I hope we don't have to give it a complete consensus. That might be too much for me to bear. But go around and each of you say, yes, you can be happy, or no, you cannot. Just a yes, no vote. It's not complicated too much, just like in a jury room, Just, okay, so you might have a chance. I mean, they may just be generous day. I've heard the time of day is very important when those parole boards make decisions and stuff like that. Maybe you can get them the right time of day. Early after, late afternoon is not a good time. Late morning is not a good time. Just get them together at the right time. So they may be very generous. They might just say, yeah, you can be happy. Doesn't mean you have to be happy, but at least then you'll know that you've gotten permission. And that means if you see all those things you've been doing that's, not so happy, like struggling to get the result, or saying, or putting other people above your own interests, or not focusing on the journey, just the results. If you notice that, well, those aren't really very making me happy, then you got permission. Just change those things. Maybe some people will be upset, but they already gave you permission. Hey, once they give you permission, they have to deal with the consequences, right? So, I think this is a grand idea, don't you? I want some feedback. I want some feedback from y'all guys, right? I think this is the idea of the century. Yeah.